Next concept, architectural structures and views. These concepts will use the what are the architectural structure and views used to describe the software architecture. So depend on the broad nature of the modules. These are divided into three groups. Nothing but the architectural structures divided based on the elements or modules. They are module, component and connector, and allocation. These are the three architectural structures commonly given by the software industry for architectures. Module divided into decomposition, uses, class, and again a component divided into client server architecture, concurrency architecture, process, shared data architecture, and allocation divided into work assignment, deployment, implementation architecture. Now first we will see the module architecture. As the name itself, module gives a part of the overall project or a subpart of the task is given as a module. Now commonly for large projects we will use this module oriented representation. First one, decomposition. In the decomposition architecture, the modules are related by the is a submodule relation. This gives a major module decomposed into a submodule based on the relations. Commonly, large tasks are decomposed into a small tasks for the purpose of easy doing. So here also one major module identified for our project. Based on that module, it is divided into sub module, and again if there is a possibility is there that sub modules are again decomposed into a sub modules until there is no new modules will recognize, the procedure will takes place. This is a major architecture normally preferred for large kind of project. Next one, uses architecture. In this uses architecture, the modules are represented with the uses relation. Nothing but in the project there may be many modules are represented. In that module representation, one module may be needed to access the other module, and other module may be need to interact with some other modules specified in your project. So like that, uses architecture will be preferred to interact one module with the other modules specified in the project. This is also a very important architecture, preferably followed by the most number of companies for building of their software projects. Uses nothing but is a relation. Next, layered architecture. Most of the companies will preferring this layered architecture also. It will use an high level abstract view. It will hide total internal data for representation, but only the abstract view can be represented. The best example for layered architecture, your operating system. Your operating system is the best example for layered architecture, and your computer networks model, nothing but OSI by ISO by OSI and TCP/IP. That projects are related to the layered architectures. They will hide internal data. When comes to internal working, each and every layer starts its functioning. And class or generalization. This class structure allows us to reason about reuse and incremental addition of the functionality. Normally, object-oriented modules or object-oriented projects use to build with the class or generalization architecture. This is the first module, and second one, component and connector architecture. Now, what do you mean by a component? A component is the module and connector is the data flow or relation, whatever you are using in your project. Now, first component connector architecture, process or communicating between process. Here, processes are nothing but programs or tasks or simply a component. How one component is communicated with the other component? Is there any communication tools you are using, or is there any specialized methods we are using, or is there any procedure calls we are using to connect one process with the other process? Yeah, here they are given the synchronization methods and exclusive operation methods and communication methods to interact one process with the other process. This is one of the architecture followed by companies to build our software project. Next one, concurrency. Concurrency is the very important architecture when we are working for multi-programming system or parallel processing system. This concurrent architecture will be preferred. So before starting doing implementation, your project should be verified for parallel processing project or multitasking project. Is there any involvement of more number of tasks are allowed to execute? If any like that, this architecture is going to be preferred. Concurrent. The meaning of concurrency is nothing but parallel execution. Shared data or repository. This structure comprises the components and connector that create, store and access your persistent data. It's nothing but they will store data in one place. After storing that data, a number of other components is going to be used to access the data. It's called that place where we will store the data is called a repository. Once we store the data in that repository, if anyone required that data, they can access the stored data from the repository. And client server mechanism, this is the best example where multi people working together in such environment. In software project, many people need to be work together. When a particular people need particular task, that work to be distributed among for all people. If you want to in the software SDLC, I mean software development life cycle, the persons are there like software analyzer, designer, tester, debugger. Everyone should cooperate with the other people, and they must and should be shared data. and also used for task should be balanced mode. This architecture mainly preferred between where more number of people work together and access rights to be needed between them. And third architecture allocation. In the allocation, the first one, deployment. This will use an engineer to reason about performance and data integrity, availability and security. This architecture mainly concentrated on the availability of the data, efficiency of the data, how architecture will always improves our integrity, performance, availability and reliability and security of the data. Implementation. This is critical for the management of development activities and build the processes. This is nothing but the development of your project, the security and efficiency and implementation should be maintained. The programmer level implementation, the programmer level should be monitored by the allocation strategy. And work assignment, this is a very important. In this architecture, how many number of teams are involved in your project, that many number of teams are assigned with their roles and responsibilities to conduct work smoothly. If anyone is not allocated his roles and responsibilities, that particular tasks will be stopped. So like that, these are the architectural structures used to build our software architectures. Next concept, views. What do you mean by a view? How if people can views the architecture, how many people involved in the software architecture or software project? Can I say all stakeholders? Stakeholders are nothing but those people are involved in our project, like a customer, end user and a programmer, debugger, designer. These all people can view your architecture as the same? No, definitely not. End user can view your architecture his own perspective, and customer views architecture his own perspective. So like that, every people having their own perspective view of that particular architecture. Simply I can say a view describes the perspective view of the architecture of a particular stakeholder. A particular stakeholder, how he wants to view that particular architecture. Now there are 4 views are provided in the software architecture. That 4 views are nothing but logical view and process view and deployment view and physical view. Now see, logical view. First one, logical view completely belongs to the end users. End users are nothing but once your software project has been completed, how end user will feels of that particular application. He is feeling easy to operate, he is working efficiently with that application. Like that he will views. If any difficulties are there, he will raise a lot of constraints on that. Logical view completely belongs to the end user perspective, and the views are represented with the diagrams, UML diagrams. We will see that what UML diagrams used to represent a particular view. And see, process view. A process view is nothing but completely how a particular system views that particular project. The system nothing but how a particular process, there may be a number of processes are involved in your project, process 1, process 2, process 3 and so on, number of process. How a particular process is a view your particular architecture. Process 1 is going to be communicate with the process 2, and process 2 needed communication with the any process 3, like that. Or simply I can say how your system is going to be viewed, that particular architecture. Next, development view. This purely belongs to the programmers or coders or implementers. Simply how a particular programmer can view your architecture, what he needed, what algorithms we need to use to implement, what programs we need to use to implement, is the architecture is sufficient or not. So like that, development view can be used by the programmers. And physical view, it's a completely related to the system as well as the engineers of the system. Nothing but physically all components are available in that particular project. Physically available, nothing but your system engineer is going to be verified all required components are available in that particular system that can be identified with this architecture. And each and every view should be communicated with the other view by using a view is called a scenario. A scenario is also known as a use case. Now see, they proposed a view model is called 4+1 view model. An architect called Krutchen proposed this 4+1 view model. 4+1 is nothing but that 4 views: logical view and deployment view or development view and process view and systems view, physical view. This 4+1 is nothing but scenarios. Completely 5 but it is not called a 5 view model, it's called a 4+1 view model. Now see here, neatly given, the logical view mainly concentrated on the functional requirements of the system. These are taken care by the end users. How end user will feels about your system. The UML diagrams need to use in logical view class diagrams, sequence diagrams, and if is there any layer diagrams. And development view is a fully used by the software in development environment, nothing but your programmers or implementers. The UML diagrams used to represent development view, component diagrams and packaging diagrams. The process view will access the runtime behavior of the system. It's nothing but I said how your process is going to be communicate with the other process which is involved in your program. While involving that communication, what about the performance of your system? Like that all is viewed by the process view. And the diagrams of UML used in this process view, activity diagrams. And physical view is nothing but how system engineers view your architecture. Is there any topology are using? Is there any mechanisms used to build up your system and development of your system? The UML diagrams used to represent physical view is the deployment diagrams. And finally Scenarios. The scenarios, I said, these are use cases for illustrating and validating the complete architecture. These top four views want to communicate with any other view, there must and should be a scenarios to be used. The scenarios are nothing but use cases. The use cases are represented in UML diagram by using use case diagrams. Up to this, our first unit, from the first unit, this architecture structures and views is very important.